Hey, everybody. Welcome to today's podcast. Today's podcast, I'm starting a little different. Today's podcast is kind of special today because I'm going to be talking about something from Pato's past. I'm going to pay my respects to someone that passed away a few weeks ago, and I just found out because I managed to go into my Facebook account. Lately, I stay out of my Facebook account. I don't really go in there. I go in there maybe once or twice a month. But anyway, I want to talk about someone that, for people here in the Valley, especially to me, because, let me tell you a little bit about why this person is special. When I was a younger youngster, we're talking back in 92, 93, and Christian hip-hop wasn't all over the place. There was no Lecrae's, it wasn't the way it was a few years ago. When Christian hip-hop, Christian rap, when you would still get kicked out of churches. Some pastors weren't having it because it was the devil's music. A young rebellious Pato, even though I didn't go by Pato there, let's face it, I didn't get the nickname Pato till 2009. But before that, young Pato used to go by the moniker of DJ Redeemed. And I was how can I say this? I started rapping, back in the day, Christian rap. Back in the day when it like I said, a lot of pastors weren't down with it. You could get kicked out. The biggest rap groups out there was DC Talk, Dynamic Twins, and let's see, T-Bone, which I think T-Bone's doing some Spanish stuff. But, he was running around selling cassette tapes out of the back of a station wagon. And the only way you could get his music is through, when he would perform in your town. Anyway, I'm talking about way back then when it wasn't so popular and there weren't so many options. You had PID. It was crazy, and like I said, at one point in time, I was a little bit more religious. Don't get me wrong. I'm strong in my Christian beliefs. I do drop an F-bomb here and there. I'm guilty of that. I'm not perfect. But that's a story for another day. What I'm talking about right now is that years ago, 92, 93, when I was on fire for the Lord and I was on fire for Christian hip hop, or at the beginning, we were the pioneers here. Basically, there were just a few and that had started doing Christian rap, and this man that somehow I got to know most of the Christian hip hoppers here through this man. It all happened one day when 1992, 93, I believe. I set foot in a recording studio that was located on 27th Drive in Osborne. It was called Soundtech Studios. In that studio, it was owned by Lauren Walden. We called her Sarge. She went by Sarge most of her life. I went there. I met the sound engineer, someone who would become a very close friend, and he was a pastor too, so a spiritual guide. David Seville, or DC Seville. I started working there. I didn't have all the equipment at home, so putting my first project together was very expensive at $40 an hour. But I got to spend a lot of time with DC, and he taught me a lot of tricks there. He was an excellent producer. I knew about In fact, I remember I went to Soundtech because a brother from church was part of a trio. You know, they used to sing that old school guitar trio music, and they had an LP, you know, and I saw that, and I saw Soundtech Studios, and he told me, yeah, he told me where the studio was located. I booked studio time. I went there. Like I said, met DC, and over the years, you know, established an awesome relationship, even worked on some projects that never came out, you know. Dude was a pioneer. I mean, he was doing something that was practically rap before us rappers were doing it, you know, just a funky beat, and it was a Bible verse. I remember he let me hear some of his work, and of course met his wife Norma, who you know, beautiful voice. Wow, I found out yesterday when I was scrolling through Facebook. I went to Pastor Robert Rodriguez's page, which I met him as MC Soldier. In fact, DC Seville took me to meet him at his house. We went to MC Soldier's house because let's see. Somehow there was going to be an event in Tolleson, and DC hooked me up with this other brother, and this other brother we met, and we went to Soldier's house, and from that point on it was crazy. But before I met Soldier, I was just thinking, there's another Christian rapper, another pioneer of early Christian rap here in the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona, MC Smooth Rapture, you know. And wow, all I can say is, you know, that was another beautiful friendship that I had the privilege of having, and it all happened because I met DC. He connected us. He was like, you guys need to network. You guys need to go out there. He believed in what we were doing. And, you know, the sad thing is that a few years ago, somebody, and I can't remember exactly who, someone told me he had passed away. And I took it at face value. And then reading this post last night made me feel so bad. I was like, really? You know, it's funny. I close my eyes and I can picture him in the recording studio in the sound engineer booth, and listening to my crazy ideas of what I wanted to do on the song. And a lot of the times he would look at me weird, like, oh, I see what you're doing, but no, you're going about it the wrong way. And he would show me the proper way to do it. And wow. He, you know, a lot of Christian artists and regular secular artists, because a lot of people went to record down there at Soundtech, and Soundtech closed down somewhere in the early 2000s. I mean, with all the new equipment, I guess people were recording at home, or it was just, the industry changed. And he told me back in the day, we used to talk about, you know, it's coming to the point where people are going to be able to just buy a song, you know, download. He was talking about the future. And I was like, whoa, a future without, I wanted to be able to touch my records, be able to touch my CDs. CDs weren't even, at the time I was talking with him, we were talking about making tapes. CDs was like the next thing. So I feel, like I said, he died a couple weeks ago. Don't know exactly. I'm just going by what I read off my brother's page there. Over the years, as my life took a different turn, I've alienated myself from a lot of the Christian rap community. I think the last project I did in 2002 is still available at CD Baby, and no, I'm not marketing it here. I'm just saying, I mean, this is back in the day. Because, I mean, back in the day, all we did was put songs together, go perform, and, you know, really making records and record sales. We were like, huh? What? We were just on fire for the ministry. That's what we did. It's crazy. So I just wanted to take a few moments right now to say, DC Seville, rest in peace. And thank you for everything, for all the knowledge that you shared with me when we were recording the events. They used to do this event in Surprise, Arizona. And it's one of the few times where I got to perform. Everything happens for a reason. Our lives take twists and turns. I don't know how my life would have been if it had not been so chaotic that I felt I had to walk away from all that. I don't know how life would have been. All I know is that I feel very grateful that God blessed me with, this person in my life. And now that he's not around, but the thing is like I feel the void now, because now, although I feel bad, because like I said, years ago someone told me that he had passed, and I just took it at face value. They even went as far, like, yeah, they closed down the church in Surprise, and I was like, oh, well, like I said, my life took turns. I grew up, I don't want to make this about me, like I said right now, I'm talking about DC, and this man, like I said, there's a lot of, if you talk to a lot of people in the Valley, there's a lot of people that went to Soundtech, recorded there, and they knew DC. In fact, even people from out of state, I remember he put me in one of the songs that I made. He put it in a compilation that made it, I don't know where, out in the boonies, and they knew him, and they tried to reach out to him through me on a old MySpace page I had. It's crazy. Anyway, I just wanted to take a little moment to pay a little tribute to a mentor, a friend, a man of God. And even though I am so far away from the person I used to be, I still remember DC. I remember all the friendships that I made. There's this fondness, like Smooth Rapture, MC Soldier. Gosh, that's just two of them right there. Well, then because of meeting Soldier, obviously, eventually I met Ruthless Ramsey, who in my book is the best DJ out there. And there were other groups that, well, obviously Norma, there was a rock group too. Wow. I am going down memory lane here. It's just that it hit me hard, because I'm not the type of person to just take everything lightly. They tell me when somebody tells me, hey, somebody passed away, I usually, I reach out to people. The problem is that when I heard the first time, I was so far away from the person I used to be, and I did not want to hear any counseling. I didn't want nobody pulling my ears, telling me that, hey, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, like most people, when your life falls apart, and they truly care about you, they tell you. But most of the times you don't want to hear it. Like I said, I stopped Christian. When my marriage fell apart, I ended up in divorce. I ended up in a place where me and Christian rap could not coexist. So I had to say goodbye to DJ Redeemed. And even though on my Facebook page it still says Redeemed there, I feel so far away from that person. And no, I don't live a life of sin right now, if that's what you're saying. I mean, other than, well, I do curse once in a while here in my podcast. But like I said, I don't use my curse words to go out and wish evil upon people. I don't use my curse words to destroy. It's simply, it's